Okay, I'm going to get into the PowerPoint now and just go through some of that. And then we'll get into actually demonstrating some of the new features in Revu 20. So this is a demonstration in Revu 20. Just a bit of a rough agenda. So we've got some markup tool improvements, which I'm going to go through. We've also got some markup filter improvements. So they've changed the interface there a lot, and that works quite well. Actually, some improvements to the sessions themselves. So in how you invite people, etc. And the big news is we've got a new Australian server. So that is great for people that require that Australian data residency. So a lot of government jobs and government departments require that the data is kept onshore. There's also search for commands, which is a great new tool that they've put in. We'll leave questions to the end. So if you do like to put a question in, feel free to use the Zoom Q&A, and then I will address those questions at the end. Just a little bit about us. So we're Cloud A2K. We're a company which delivers software and hardware solutions, consulting, training, development, and managed services. So we've got a lot of staff in the AEC field, infrastructure, and manufacturing sectors. About myself, I'm a certified Bluebeam trainer, certified Autodesk Revu professional, and a BIM industry speaker. I've got my structural engineering associate diploma. I've been in the industry over 25 years, worked at a lot of tier 1, mid-tier and smaller consultancies. So generally consulting engineering, working at Arup, Worley Parsons, Northrop and SMEC. I've also done some things from small portal frames and small residential buildings up until Metro Martin Place and some bigger commercial towers. I'm on LinkedIn as well if you want to friend me. About Bluebeam. So Bluebeam was founded in 2002. It has over 1.6 million users around the globe. One of the main things is it has over 22 billion collaborative transactions. So that's using the studio where you can put on projects and sessions and have that live collaboration. So it is the only real-time PDF collaboration solution. So you can have multiple people in one PDF at the one time. This is the basic interface, which we'll see when we get in there. So we have our menu bar at the top, properties toolbar, panel access over to the left that can open the panels, markups list down the bottom, navigation bar and the toolbar. This layout can be customized as well. So the power of the PDF, it contains all the metadata. So it doesn't just contain drawings or images. You can put hyperlinks in there, bookmarks, file attachments, images, and all the 3D data. So it's really harnessing that metadata in there. So now we'll get into the Revu demonstration in Revu 20. So this one here is Revu 19. So we can see here, we've got Studio Bluebeam, which is our American server. We also have the UK server, where if I flip over to now to our 2020 Revu 20 version, and if I go to our studio here, we have an Australian server. So that little Australian flag there, and we can now go and host our data locally. Revu 20 makes it easier than ever for your team to get more done together. Has a greater flexibility control, enhanced markup and measurement tools to help you better manage your data. So I'm going to open now. I'll go through my Oz Studio, sign in. And I've got a session here. So I'm going to open that up. So we can see the interface is a little bit different here. So once I open the drawing, so this is my set in here. And one of the first things I really want to go through is the custom line types. So custom line types are available through our, I'll just minimize my, so custom toolbars, I'll go back to my 2020 version here, and through my measure at the top, I can get in a simple perimeter or an area. So if I do a perimeter, I'll see that I can drag that perimeter around and close that off. Now, when I do this, we now have a lot of extra features in here. So with this line itself, I can come here and I can change it to multiple types. So I can change it to a gas line, hot water, and I can also use custom line types if I wanted to through here. In 2019, we couldn't do that. So I'll just sign in here as well. This is signing into the American server. Be aware that the new Australian server is only on Revu 20, so you do need to upgrade to that. So I'm joining another session here, which has the same work area on it. If I open this up, you can see that it's 19. If I go to do a line style in here, when I do that line style, I do only have the 6 type of line styles. So if I go to my properties now to change that, I will see I've only got the standard 6. So now we have a lot more user-friendly ones in there to use. So that is one of the great improvements. Another improvement as well is we can change the style of our box here for a call out. So for a simple text box, I can put in whatever text I want. So I'll just call this roof for the example. And when we go to apply a shape, I'll just give that some thickness. So in the new, we have a hexagon, which may be a bit more useful for the engineering field. So we've got that hexagon in there as the new shape, where previously we only had the square, circle, and triangle. Now we had the hexagon shape. We've also gone through and improved the multi-line text auto sizing. So we'll see here in 20, when we stretch out that to auto size the text. So by selecting this here or selecting it through our properties, by the auto size, so that's where you change it to auto size here, and it really improves it for multi-line text. So as I stretch that, I'll see that it actually stretches that text out, changes it across to 2 lines, can change it to 1 line as well. So that is a great improvement. Formerly in the 2019 version, where we had the text, if you did auto size the text and stretch that out, it won't go to the next line. So we can see that that just stretches the text out in 1 line. So it's really improved that workability through here when that will actually resize the text. So that's a great improvement for markups. Another thing that we can do as well is we can put in arrows easily. So we can easily change this from just a standard text box to a call out. So if I select on this here, we can see it's a standard text box. So if I right click, I can then add a leader. So if I add a leader, this will then change it to a call out. And we can see as well that that will pick up a different area for it. So it's changed it to a call out, and it actually takes it to the nearest point. I can keep adding these leaders. So you can have multiple leaders and they won't all come from the one point. So again, if I add a leader here, I can take this to the bottom and it comes off the nearest point. So that's a great improvement to what it used to be, where all your leaders would actually come off the one point. This will all grab the nearest point. So that's a great feature through there. We also have an improvement to our markup filter interface. So now we'll see that the filter has changed. So if I select that, we'll see that it goes orange through here and it has a new interface. The beauty of this is we can easily add in the different items. So through here, the author, I can pick that and have my comments through here. I can also add the other comments from the other Ben B, which is still me. And I can add in markups as well for a particular page. So I can come here and add in 01. What I can do as well is I can actually save these markups, like save this filter. So if I click on here, I can now save this filter. So I can save this as Ben's. And now that I have that saved, I can easily go through, and when I start a new project, they will be there. So it makes it real useful to go to these markups in the filters list and select those filters straight off. I can delete them as well and make sure I keep that nice and trim. So that's a great way to be able to apply those filters easily to all the markups you have in there. So it's a lot different in the interface than it had before. Another improvement is in the area and your distance and numbering. So through here in the filter list, what I can do now is I can filter these areas by greater than or equal, and less than. So we couldn't do that before. I'll go back to 19. I'll go back to 19 through here. Open my markup list. Once I go to apply those filters, I will see that I only have equal or does not equal. So now in 20, we have that new feature where we can use greater than or equal. So that will help a lot with your area and lengths, where you can rule out anything larger than a certain length, etc. So that is a great feature. Also exporting your markups. So when you go to export your markups, if I go here and do a PDF summary, this is a feature that a lot of people have been asking for. So under your output, under our options, we have in here where we can take out the replies. So this will allow it to be a lot cleaner, and particularly for those that are using the comments in an Excel, that will make it a lot cleaner and you'll be able to pick out those lines a lot easier. This feature was unavailable in 19 and it's a great improvement. So I'm now going to start to explore sessions themselves. So one of the great features in sessions is that we now have a list of who has joined and not joined the project. So we come in here and we can see in the new Revu 20 data interface, we've got joined and not joined. So this is a great feature because it actually saves time and reduces that risk. A lot of people in the past, they've had where the emails actually come from Bluebeam and they've filtered them off into either a junk mail or a Bluebeam folder, and they haven't actually got the invite into the session. So you won't miss another session or project due to a missed invite email. You can also check who hasn't joined your session. And through here, if you go through here, you've got a quick way to be able to select those and then send the reminder. So that is a much quicker way, and it's easier to get that management of the project. So you can set those permissions easier. It's all through here. It's all a lot easier. which manages to save time, maintain your security, and ensure that participation. So you have that list of people who haven't joined, and you can easily invite and manage that project. This leads to like a higher adoption as well, and it will increase the return on your investment with the higher studio adoption. So we're all about collaboration with Revu 20. We really want people to start to use and really start to get the benefits of both studio sessions and studio projects. If you don't quite know how to access them, always feel free to reach out to your Cloud A2K representative. When you actually start a session, so what I'll do is I'll just start a new session. So I'll just leave that one, and I can go here to start a new session. So we've really improved the invite process. So if I just go to demo test, I won't restrict the attendees by email address. And okay, I will add a small file in. So that's added the file, and you'll see that this interface is a lot newer. So now we've got the opportunity to type or paste emails, add emails from group, or use address book. And one of the good things with this type and paste emails, so I can select that one there, and I can simply go to like an old email, or even if I've got something from an email that was sent, I can grab all these names. I don't need to worry about all the cases and text in there or whatever. It will actually recognize and remove those extra characters. So once I paste that in, I've got all those names in there, and now I can check and include those emails. So if I hit check and include emails, I'll see straight away it has gone through and it's picked out those email addresses. It's also picked out these domains. So this will easily to ensure the right people have access to the right information. So going through there. So I can see that it's picked up our New Zealand domain, our Australian domain, and our cloud domain. So I've got the 3 domains with 7 participants. So it makes it a lot easier just to track that. And then I can invite those participants. And again, you get in here straight away that I'm the only one who's joined and I am online. And you get everyone who hasn't joined. And you can easily select certain people and make sure that you send them a reminder. So that you can come in here and it asks you straight away to email that reminder to this person to join it. And you can put in to add comments before a particular date. And they will get that reminder. So that is a much cleaner interface. Here you can tell straight away who's joined, who hasn't joined. Can easily change the status when you've finished your markups or you're reviewing, etc. And easily you've got all the same record, notifications and pending. The other big new item we have is that we can search for commands. So I'll just go back to my other session. So I'll leave this session. Go to my architecture session here. So it comes up quite quickly, as we can see. So we can easily search for a command. So there's a lot of different commands, obviously, and some people do get a bit, even though this interface is quite simple. So you've got all your icons for all the items you'll be using through here, all your tools, markup tools, your measure, etc. So there's a lot through there. So I know that I can change the color of this item. So once I select it, I know that I can do the color processing, or I can change colors, etc. So what I'll do is I'll grab it just a screenshot. So if I use my G command or my snapshot command here, I can take a snapshot and then I can paste that back in. Now I can change the color of all those items in there. I'm not sure, like if you weren't sure whether to do it through properties or whatever, but I know that there is a command to change the color. So I can go under my help tab here, select that, and go in through my find tools and commands. Now this is a great feature. It's used in a lot of other CAD softwares, etc. And it's a great way, particularly for people who aren't familiar with Revu, to come in here and just know that, well, I can change the color. So as soon as I start typing in that color command, I'll get that change colors. So then I can change the colors of these items. So I can go through and change all my black to red, etc. So it's a great way to be able to find all those commands, even simple things like your calibrate, etc. Once you click in there, it'll come straight up. So you can see it grabs those letters and just looks for everything starting with C and then breaks it down further and further. So it's a great way to use those commands and find all those commands through there. But the big news is the Australian server. That is the big feature for Revu. So that will allow you to work in real time with your project team locally with your new Australian server. Now, Studio now meets Australian data residency requirements, so your organisation can really reap the time and cost savings of real-time collaboration. So it meets the regulatory requirements, it will have a higher return on investment, and it will minimise the risk having that Australian server. So that is only a feature that is available in Revu 20. So make sure that you reach out to your A2K representatives to get that feature. So it is quite easy to upgrade as well. So we have made that quite easy on our website. So if you do go through our Cloud A2K website, you can go through to our Bluebeam page. And we have our self-upgrade buttons. So we have this upgrade button where it will allow you to upgrade to the new Revu 20. We also have Blueburst training and that available to come through. So I will just go through the Q&A now and just see if there's any questions. So someone is asking a difference between, what's a difference between a project and a session? So a project is your cloud storage. So project here, this is your cloud storage. So that allows you to access, to basically just use it as a cloud file management system. Because it's only new, I've only got a limited amount of both projects and sessions in here for the new 20. If I go back to my 19, I do have a lot more projects available, obviously. And this is where you can have all your assets, everything in here for this. So for this construction project here, this will be faster too on an Australian server. These are currently on the American server. So here I can contain all my drawings for that project. I can also have all my images and have a heap of images hosted on the site as well. And this is a great way to use that cloud storage to actually have up all your content on there. And then anywhere where you have your internet connection and are connected, you can access these pictures. So you can access the full file and have all your stuff in here. To just do a quick comparison between both sessions and projects. So projects, again, are unlimited in how many people can access them. So they're great for document handover as well. Sessions can have up to 500. So sessions are this one that looks like the whiteboard. They're more for your project collaboration where everyone can access the single PDF. You can have up to 5,000 documents in files up on a session, where in projects it's unlimited. So you've got unlimited storage, any file format. The files can be any size as well. The markups are unlimited and the space is unlimited. So it's a great way to have that cloud storage where it's absolutely unlimited. And you can as well use the attendee access, and you can give different rights where they have the rights to upload documents, the rights to edit documents, etc. You can also view the previous file revisions on projects, and you will receive daily emails about that activity. So you will get, if you're the host of that project, you will get a daily email telling you who's uploaded what documents, etc. Sessions is your real-time collaboration, and that's the real strength of Revu. So that allows everyone to participate in one session, and keep commenting through there. So you can set replies, set statuses, etc. The files can be up to 1 gig each. And you can break out a PDF in a project. You can break it out into a session. One of the good things too about sessions is you can actually put in an expiry date. So I find it quite a good thing to actually set an expiry date for your sessions. And that way you can make sure that everyone will have comment on those sessions by a particular time. So if I go to the session here, I can come to the settings, and through here, I can put an expiry date on it. So if I put an expiry date on that, as a host, I can come back and change that date. So I can give everyone until the Friday afternoon to make their comments, and then let them know in that email that I'm going to be closing the session on the Friday. And that way I can make sure everyone's got their comments in, and I can action what comments they've made. So in through here, I've got all the comments. You can reply to comments. So these are all live comments that's come through. So I can have that on. And just a reminder with sessions that once you have made a markup, you don't need to save your comments. So markups are recorded live and updated on the cloud server for all to see. So you've got this record on the left here where it basically tracks everything that's happened in that session. So you can go back from the first point when the session was first started and follow that through, and you've almost got like all your QA processes, it's all through here. So I can jump straight to that markup through here, select it, and I know what's happened. So I can go to that length and grab that length measurement. And through these markups as well, I can also reply. So I can set the status of that distance or set a comment in through there as well. So if I go to the markup, select that distance, and then I can reply to that. And that will track all those comments and distances. So you can have all the comments to it, and then you can also change the status of those length measurements. And when you go to export, again, you can export through here, go through the output tab, and you then have the option, like this is 19, so where you didn't have the option to take out the replies. So a lot of people, they did take this data and push it through Excel, and then have in there, they can use the power of Excel to go through the comments, etc. And when people had the replies in, it would muck around with the Excel a bit. So you'd have to go in and then delete the replies and do a bit of work. We're now in the new 20 version. In the markups, when you go to output those ones, I'm back in the, so when I go to, this is the, I've got the window too low. So when I change that back up, I will get my markups for this one. And now when I export this PDF summary, I've got under the output, and under the options, I can now take out those replies. So I can filter those replies out before I even get to Excel. So again, the Australian server is one of the big things. The studio admins can now invite and assign permissions to users before they even have a studio account. So be aware, one of the big things that people that need to know is that you don't need review license to be able to participate fully in a session. So we do that so that contractors and builders can send that out to their subcontractors and they can join the session and participate fully with all the full markup features in an unlicensed version of Revu. So you can send this out to someone who doesn't have a review one, and they will actually get an email that will tell them to join and that how to download a trial copy of Revu. So it's quite easy to get through that. You can, with the leader lines, so you can remove all the leader lines through here. So if I go through and just remove all those leaders, with that one. So again, if I have that as a call out, I'll just do a call out, which is the one with the leader here. So that is now a call out. So if I go to the properties, I'll see that it's a call out. And if I remove that leader, that will change it back to a text box. So it changes it back to a text box. So they can have as many leader lines as you want coming out of any or all sides, saving you a lot of time when you need to communicate a similar change or a similar markup to many areas. So again, just by adding those leaders, where before it would be a bit more difficult and you would have a leader coming off that point, I can now, if I add a leader, I can easily drag that to the other side. These are editable as well, so I could stretch that right out to be the proper sort of right angle leader if I chose. So this markup will really help in the efficiency that of how to do those markups. So the hexagon shape's been added as well, which helps you communicate more effectively. So they're probably the main 7 things that have come out of the new Revu 20. So it is great. It's really about the collaboration. So we've got the custom line styles going from the 6 initially to multiple line types, which you can then also customize. We've got the hexagon shape now for our text box. The multi-line functionality has really improved where it will actually resize to separate lines. The new filter interface is good, and you can actually export your filter list and save these filter lists. So you can save them and use them again in future projects. So once you have certain filter set up, which you can then save. And now that I do that, I can save that as a filter and use that in different projects. The greater than or less than feature, where you can use areas, lengths, or any other custom columns to filter by that greater or less than. You can export the markups, and now you can decide to not include the replies, which makes it a lot cleaner to use in Excel. The sessions themselves are a lot more easier to use. You've got joined, it even comes up here with the sessions that you haven't joined. So it will tell you projects that you have received invites to and not joined. So it's quite a lot cleaner and easier interface to use. The email address system is a lot cleaner, and it's easier to add new people into those projects. The Australian server and your search for command feature at the top. So when you aren't sure of the command, you can easily come through here and search for that command you need. So I'll just review any of the questions there. So there's, I've explained the difference between a project and a session. Can you limit who has access to which projects? Yes, you can. So all you need to do is go through the settings. So again, I can click on that one, go through the actual settings of the project. I didn't actually set up that project, so you need to be the host. On a project here, for instance, through the settings of this one, I can go to the permissions and the attendees, and I can restrict those attendees by email address. So I can make sure only the people who get an email, and I can then make sure that they're only going to be the people that I email to. And you can let the people that are in it, if you let them be able to add attendees as well, which you can turn off. You can also deny access to particular people as well. Can other people who didn't start the session get email notifications about user activity? I don't think so. I think you can only really get it as the host of that email activity. You can alert people through the functions here. So I can find anything I've added or even someone else has added. I'm in the, so when I make a, this is a new one, but if I made a new measurement, for instance, so if I went to my, or even a line or a simple call out, Cloud Plus. So I can alert people to those comments. So if I click that, and then I can go to alert attendee, and I can choose an attendee that I want to alert of that change. So in through here, I could then send that to Letitia, and she would actually get an email alerting her to that item. Template for a markup summary. I'll have to probably take that on notice. That's probably a bit of a workflow. So feel free to email or to hit up your Cloud A2K rep for any questions you've got. The help is quite good as well in Bluebeam. So there's a lot of videos in there as well. So if I go under the help tab and go to the tutorials or the training resources, this takes you straight to the Bluebeam website. And you can basically go to a markup tools one here, or like you're saying, even a markups list. And through here, you can get your quantity link, formula columns, etc. Creating your summaries, templates will be through there. So I'll just take us to our website now. So our Cloud A2K website. So if you go on here, we do have a lot of events and that coming up. Easy buttons here to upgrade easily. We are also doing a lot of Blueburst coming up, and I'll probably now just give this over to our business rep to just say a few comments. I will unmute him. Simon, you're on.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. So Simon here, the Bluebeam Solutions Manager for Cloud A2K. Obviously, there's probably a few little tricks to the upgrading when you're actually on maintenance and things of that nature. So we've got the self-upgrade now link, which will take you through and you can actually check if you're eligible. Please note that you will need to be the primary user on the actual portal for Bluebeam. Otherwise, you're going to need their details to go through. So if you do have any issues with any of that, just reach out to us at Cloud A2K. We'll be more than happy to walk you through the process. If you've bought a license in the last 30 days, you can actually also go through that self-upgrade portal. That will show you then how you can actually, if you're eligible for the upgrade to Revu 20, being that you purchased within the recent time. We have the Bluebeam resources. It's a good site now to go to. We've tried to empower you as much as we can through the one site. And yeah, hopefully in time you will get to know the changes we've done so you can compare editions, things like that. But I think the biggest thing that we'd like to say is thanks for your attending today. If you do have any questions or you'd like a one-on-one session, reach out to us. More than happy to get engaged. Check out our promos page. We have our e-store up and running, things of that nature, so we won't bore you today with all of that. You can go at your leisure in there and have a look. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks a lot all for attending.